Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Jacob Milton, and I'm asking all of you to be a little bit more passionate tonight as I'm going to talk to one of the gentlemen that I very proudly call him my friend and friends of the Bangladeshi community. This gentleman, professionally, he's an attorney. I spoke to him on this very program. He is running for Queens District Attorney's position. As you all know, that June 25th, there will be a primary, Democratic primary is going to be held in Queens County. And there's a seventh candidate who is running for that position. And among seven, lots of people, I have opportunity to speak to dozens of people from different community, and no one contradict my opinion that this is the only guy out of all seven candidates has real credential to reform Queens District Attorney's Office. Election is just 10 days away. Today, I was thinking that I'm going to speak to him and I'd like to ask him a couple of questions, which is going to be really important before election. People would like to hear his position. As everybody knows that Queens Democratic Party, they have their own rule. They endorse some other people, whether they're qualified or not. But let's see, the candidate, Attorney Jose Nieves, who is running for this position, let's see what he's going to say and his assessment that where he is standing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, come, let's meet Attorney Jose Nieves, who is running for Queens District Attorney's position. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet Attorney Jose Nieves. Mr. Nieves, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on again.
Mr. Nieves, election is just 10 days away from today. Lots of people are telling me you just put your life online, working day and night, 24/7.
Right.
Tell me, what is your assessment of the race?
I think it's anyone's race. I think because there's so many candidates and the public is being awakened about how serious this race is, how important this race is. People are getting interested. People want to know who the candidates are, what's going on, what are the issues. And I'm in communities like Far Rockaway, Laurelton, St. Albans, in Whitestone.
You are everywhere. I see you. You are everywhere through social media.
They all want to know what's going to happen. And they all want to know, like, what are the issues? Who do we vote for? Who's really qualified? Who has the credentials to do the job and who doesn't? And who's part of the machine and who's not. And I think that my message is resonating with voters. We're getting out the name and my message, and it's clear that people are very interested in having a professional lead the DA's office who knows what he's doing and can do real criminal justice reform on day one.
What is really important? Everyone wants to know that out of all seven candidates, who has that right experience and quality to reform Queens District Attorney's Office? You did lots of forum.
Yes.
With all of the 24 you did.
Yes.
What is your own assessment? I know you are a candidate, but still, I'm sure you have your own assessment. What's your assessment?
I think that the Queens voters want a balance. I think they don't want to go too far to the left, nor do they want somebody that's not going to change anything. They want to see change. They want somebody with the credentials to do the job, with the experience to be able to ensure public safety. But at the same time, they want to see a criminal justice that's changing. They want to see a better vision for the criminal justice system. They want to see better policies, such as a conviction review unit,
right,
such as making sure that we divert kids away from the criminal justice system. Also making sure that we actually divert and provide drug addiction services to those who need it, because we're in an opioid crisis right now. And they're concerned because they see many of the candidates on the far left or the far right, and they're looking for the candidate that has the center ground. And I believe I bring that balance to the voters of Queens because I have the professional experience that gives me the opportunity to do the job and do it on day one. Gain the respect of the office, the respect of the Queens court system, the respect of the defense counsels. But at the same time, I come from a very humbling background. I've been, I grew up in a very tough neighborhood that saw violent crime on the streets. I've seen why public safety is so important because violent crime affects people's families, their communities. And at the same time, I've been subjected to racial profiling because when I was young, the police would stop me for no other reason than because of the color of my
Because
skin.
the color of your skin, right?
And for me, you have to have that experience of the discrimination of the criminal justice system to be able to be motivated to change it. I'm the only candidate that has felt firsthand the discrimination of the criminal justice system. But I'm also the only candidate here that has personally held police accountable for killing unarmed civilians, has tried the first homicide case in the state of New York against a police officer who killed a man, unarmed man in front of his family. That's the type of credentials I come with. And I'm a leader on day one because I was a leader when I was at the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. I managed, I supervised, I oversaw the District Attorney's Office operations in Brooklyn. I was training ADAs, and on top of that, I was the deputy chief of the statewide New York State Attorney General's Special Investigation and Prosecutions Unit. That's a statewide unit with multiple jurisdictions, local jurisdictions. I oversaw investigations and prosecutions that were in upstate, downstate, Long Island, all over. So I know what right looks like. And then I'm also a leader because I served in the military. I served 10 years in our military, 1 year in Afghanistan.
And I think you are out of all 7. You are the only combat veteran in this race.
I am the only combat veteran that is running. And my mission in Afghanistan was to reconstruct the criminal justice system in Afghanistan, the eastern provinces of Afghanistan. So not only did I manage and supervise U.S. attorneys and U.S. paralegals in Afghanistan, but I also supervise and manage Afghan judges, defense counsels, and prosecutors. So my experience leading, my experience doing the job, and my experience changing the criminal justice system, doing criminal justice reform, is very extensive. And that's why people see that I have the balance. I have the right balance of someone who has the credentials to do the job and get the job done and protect our community, but at the same time has the conviction and the vision to change the criminal justice system.
You participated in lots of forums. You know that Queens Democratic Party, they endorsed their candidate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lots of conversation that Queens Democratic Party choose their own candidate without the approval of the Queens County residents. And this is the only person who passed bar license but never used that bar license in the court of law. And she's running for Queens District Attorney's Office.
It's sad that there are 3 candidates in this race who have never done any law enforcement in their life. There are 3 candidates in this race who have never led a law enforcement agency, and they are Melinda Katz, Rory Lansman, and Tiffany Kaman.
And these 3 people never did anything.
They've never done any type of supervisory role in a law enforcement capacity. They've never engaged. They never tried, prosecuted a case or investigated a case in any jurisdiction. They're completely new to the game, and they're completely new to the field of criminal law. And this is scary because, we're talking about public safety. We're talking about people's lives. I spent 18 years holding the victims' hands of my cases, promising them justice, and looking in their eyes and really understanding why the criminal justice system is so important, because it's about people's lives. And you can't take away from that. And if you're coming in and you have never done it before, you're just inadequately prepared, and you're not going to be able to do the job, and it's going to cost people's lives.
Do you know? Is it seems like citizens of Queens County, they always believed in their system. Yes. That whatever that Democratic Party, they're going to choose the right candidate. White people deserve better. In County of Queens, the citizens of Queens County, they deserve better. They had a district attorney at the office for 28 years who was not even a resident of Queens County. Now they choose someone has no experience whatsoever. Right now, like 3 days ago, I met a guy, happens to be an attorney, says, well, Melinda Katz is already acting like a district attorney. She got elected. I said, what do you mean got elected? Election never held it. So, but what's your assessment? Like, people can say that the way she's acting, like she's acting like DA.
I'll be honest with you. This race is still up in the air. I'll be honest with you. I don't think anybody has a clear victory yet. And there are multiple machines going on here. You're focusing on the Democratic County machine, but there's also the Democratic Socialists of America machine, and that machine is really has taken away a lot of choice of individuals, has spun and has misled individuals. They presented a candidate with less than 6 years admitted to practice in the state of New York, and Tiffany Caban will say it herself. She has no more than 7 years practicing in the state of New York. And the fact of the matter is, on one side you have one individual who's never practiced criminal law. On the other side, and with DSA, you have an individual who's practiced criminal law 7 years as a defense counsel and never investigated or prosecuted a case. Never had to sit across from a victim and explain to them the criminal justice system and promise them justice. So I think both machines are wrong, and they're just trying to see if they can put somebody else, pull the wool over the voters' eyes, and put somebody that's not qualified in the office so that they can control them.
On the same show, I interviewed Tiffany Caban, who says she's learning management experience through her campaign. Would you make any sorts of comments? Can anyone get a management experience through campaign, running a couple of volunteers?
Leading volunteers is a completely different operation. The district attorney's office is over 340 career prosecutors, another 300 investigators who are charged with a very serious job.
And how many administrative staff?
And it's over 600 administrative staff. Altogether, the agency is over 600 strong. It has a multi-million-dollar budget. That is nothing compared. The volunteers that she's leading now in her campaign is nothing compared to the size and the scope of the district attorney's office. So for her to compare the two is ridiculous. And I think somebody should really advise her that they're really two big different things. And at the last forum, she was really challenged because she could not identify any position that she's held where she supervised or managed other attorneys.
No, she did not supervise anything. She admitted on my show that she did not supervise anybody.
She couldn't find any position that she's ever had that she supervised. So on day one, she's not going to have the respect of the office because the 340 career prosecutors, the attorneys there, they're going to look at her and they're going to say, well, you haven't done anything that we've done. How are you going to lead us if you have not actually done the work that we have done? And it's the same thing with Rory Lansman. It's the same thing with Melinda Katz. You have to have done the work to have the respect of the office.
You cannot say about Melinda Katz. Melinda Katz will say, look, I'm being chosen by Richard Brown. I'm being chosen by county Democrats. You have to listen to me.
And the voters need to know that this is an election, not a selection. This is not about, the powers that be selecting the next district attorney. It's about the voters exercising their democratic right to choose their elected district attorney. And they need to exercise their voice, and they need not to be, led by the political bosses, because this is too important for them to just go along with whatever the political bosses are saying, whether it be DSA or the Queens County machine. The voters need to wake up and say, I'm going to do what's right for my kids. I'm going to do what's right for my community. I'm going to do what's right to make sure my family is safe, and that the criminal justice system that exists in Queens is fair, and that means putting somebody in with the right balance, the balance of experience, but also a commitment to criminal justice reform.
You had a one-on-one conversation at the forum with Melinda Katz. Do you really feel, did you have that feelings that she's going to reform the Queens D.A. or she's going to keep every single prosecutor, every single individual, those who are working with Richard Brown, and keep them at the office?
I think many of the candidates include Gregory Lasak, and
he's going to keep almost everybody.
Melinda Katz and Roy Lansman. They're going to keep the current executive staff. I think they're going to, because I think even Ms. Caban is going to keep a lot of the executive staff, because they need to rely on somebody because they don't have the experience. And Lasak has the experience. He's been with the office for 25 years. Those are his friends. Those are his longtime colleagues. He's not going to change them out. He's not going to change them out. They have history together. And the other candidates, they need those individuals in place because they don't have the experience to run the office. So they need those individuals who have been there for many, many, many years to guide them through the process. The beautiful thing about my experience is not from the Queens District Attorney's Office. I have a diverse experience from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the New York State Attorney General's Office, the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, and even the U.S. military as a military prosecutor. My experience comes from multiple sources, and it's serious experience. It's with homicide cases, and it's with long-term investigations. So there's nothing that can happen in the Queens D.A.'s office that I haven't already seen and supervised myself.
There is a rumor that Judge Lasik is going to join Melinda Katz when she's gonna, if she get elected. He's going to be Melinda Katz's right-hand man. Did you hear any of this conversation? Because I'm being asked by 2-3 people that he's going to.
I haven't heard that, but I've been focused on talking to the voters. So my focus has always been, and from the beginning of this conversation and beginning of this campaign, has been to speak directly to the voters. Don't go through media. Don't go through, bosses, political bosses. Go straight to the voter and make your case straight to the voter. And that's what I've been doing. So this political, rumors, I haven't even engaged in.
There is you went to New York One debate. I saw it. You
Yes.
did pretty good.
Thank you.
On at that debate, R. Lewis was asking about moving Rikers Island.
Right.
Melinda Katz, she says she don't want to see all those offenders like close Riker Island and put them in several places in Queens County or somewhere. She wanted to ship them somewhere else. Exactly what does that mean? What she was talking about?
I think it's a lack of understanding of the problem, and I think it's because when you don't understand the scope of the problem and what's really problematic about Rikers Island, you can't really come with a solution. You can't come with a real design. I've done years on Rikers Island where I've advocated for those who were incarcerated at Rikers Island.
Right.
Because they were victims of excessive force by correctional officers. And I advocated for them because it was wrong what the correctional officers were doing. They were abusing their authority and they were hurting people to an inch of their life, beating them to an inch of their life. And I think that you have to have that experience because I know firsthand why Rikers Island must close. But I also do not agree with the mayor's plan to create superstructures, to create more space, to incarcerate more people. We cannot incarcerate our problems. When we have an opioid crisis, we're not going to incarcerate it away. When we have mental illness problems in the county, we're not going to incarcerate it away. We have to move away from that philosophy and provide the services that the individuals need, divert them from the criminal justice system. We're the most incarcerated nation in the world. And I think that's not a proud title that we should have. I think we need to be more smart and exercise public safety, making sure that individuals who are a threat to the public are incarcerated, but that other people who make mistakes are given second and third chances, are given opportunity to be diverted away from the criminal justice system. That's how you decarcerate Rikers Island. When cash bail, you divert nonviolent felonies and low-level misdemeanors, and you make sure that you have open file discovery on day one, so that we're playing fair, and we're not having so many wrongful convictions overturned because the prosecutors did not do their job and did not play fair with the criminal justice system.
We are almost close to our time. I have one question I have to ask you. I know you are doing best. Even lots of people are telling me very good thing about you, that you are running 24/7. You are not even sleeping. You are not even staying at home. You are doing everything you can. Would you do something different if the election, you start your campaign from today? You would do something different, or the way you did, you are happy the way you are running your campaign?
I'm happy. I'm proud of the way I ran my campaign because I went directly to the voters, and I made my case every day to the voters, and I think that's what democracy is about. And I showed that it does. All the endorsements in the world doesn't compensate for experience.
Right.
All the endorsements in the world, whether it be from politicians or public figures
or unions,
that's not going to do it. You have to talk to the voter because the voter is going to decide who's going to be the next district attorney, and that's what I've been focusing on. Is focusing on talking to the voters individually, in groups, at churches, any opportunity I have on media on shows like this to talk to the voters directly, that's what I've been doing, and I'm very proud of the campaign I ran.
And even though there is a lots of humor, I asked you before that there is a lots of humor that probably you may also join. What's her name? Melinda Katz, if she got elected, and you already gave us a straight answer that Jacob, I'm running for the position.
I'm running for district attorney.
You're running for.
I'm running for district attorney. I believe I'm the most qualified for the job. I believe I bring the right balance between ensuring public safety and doing criminal justice reform. And I believe that the people know they can trust me because I've served in my country. I've served as a prosecutor for 18 years, and I've done the right thing in my career. And I've done criminal justice reform for 18 years, and I've held the system accountable. That's why they can trust me.
Mr. Nieves, not only me, lots of people, including me, believe you are the most qualified candidate who has right education, right experience, right mind, and right tools to do complete reforms of Queens District Attorney's Office. I'd like you to look at the camera and tell my audience that why they should vote for you and feel the same way, the way I feel and all those other people feel.
I'm asking for your vote on June 25th because I bring the right balance between public safety and criminal justice reform. I've dedicated my 18-year career to both public safety, ensuring public safety, because I've been across the table from victims. I've held the victims' hands and I've told them we're going to do justice in every case. But I've also been doing criminal justice reform for 18 years. And for the last 6 years, I've been doing criminal justice reform by holding the system accountable, by holding police accountable who kill unarmed civilians. That's what I bring to this race. I bring the experience to make sure that we have criminal justice reform, but I have the personal life experience to motivate me to do the change. I've grown up in a tough neighborhood, seeing crime on the streets, seeing why we need public safety, making sure that we protect our families and our communities. But at the same time, I'm the only candidate in this race who's felt the discrimination of the criminal justice system because I've been stopped by the police for no other reason than because of the way I look. So I understand our criminal justice system has problems, and that's why I'm motivated to change it, because I have skin in the game. I have a 14-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and they go to school every day on the bus, and I want to make sure they come home safe. But at the same time, I want to make sure we have a system of criminal justice that's going to be fair to everyone, that looks like you and me, and make sure that we have fair and equal justice for all. Thank you. Vote for me June 25th.
Mr. Nieves, thank you so much that within your busy schedule, you came to the show and you gave us an opportunity to know you a little more. And on June 25th, wish you good luck. And personally, I believe you are the only candidate who can do the reform at the Queens District Attorney's Office.
I appreciate that.
I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Well, what can I say? District Attorney's position is it's a gifted position. Why I says that? We are looking for an honest individual who can secure the fair justice for every single citizen of this country. A person who is not hypocrite, a person who has a real desire to reform District Attorney's Office, who can play a vital role because his own judgment is going to secure the life of all of the citizens of Queens County. The person I was talking to, Mr. Jose Nieves, listen, I cannot go into somebody's brain and heart. I meet people, I know people, I met candidates, I met public officials. When I shook his hand, one thing I realized, this guy is real. This guy is not running around on the street and just selling sweet talk. He is not. A combat veteran, 18 years of experience, father of two, a minority, went to school, become a lawyer, joined military, become a captain, went to a country where lawlessness everywhere. He helped those people to set up country's judicial system. Well, do you know what my heart says? If this guy is not going to get elected, then I don't know who is going to get elected with the right qualification, with the right mind and right experience. Ladies and gentlemen, only thing I can tell you, on June 25th, I'd like everyone go to the polling booth. Not only you, grab your friend and family member. I'm asking you, vote for Attorney Jose Nieves. Let's keep our finger crossed so that he can become the next Queens District Attorney. And I'd like to see that justice being served for the all citizens of Queens County. I'll see you next time. This is Jacob Milton. God bless America.